We're good.
Oh, give me 1 second.
We we are here. We are live, and with me, as
Right.
always, is my bistro of basketball knowledge, the brother from Brisbane, site Langley's own. G, how you doing tonight, G?
Doing good, Mo. Doing good. I can't feel too bad when we're picking up a Raptors win to get us to 500. It's nothing to get super excited about, but it's right down the lane good, you know?
Hold on,
I would say it's like
let me
a
at least put the subscribe banner up. How about that? We'll do that at the very
very cool.
least. By the
Yeah,
way,
it's a welcome sight on all fronts. Hey,
yeah,
yeah,
the
there's some
Lakers picking up a
opportunities were
win without,
presented.
huh?
Oh, I was just saying, got to take advantage of the opportunities when they're presented, and Lakers are
Absolutely.
absolutely doing that too. Tell me what your favorite thing about the Lakers so far, because nobody expected this
Uh, my favorite
without
thing about the
Luca,
Lakers so far this
without
year,
LeBron.
DeAndre Ayton and Jake LaRavia. Those are those are my two favorite things about the Lakers this year. And I'll tell you why.
Okay,
Because Aiden's found a consistency. It's nothing spectacular. It's not, right home to mama that he's got 25 and 15. But if I can
he
get
might,
17 and 6 or 17 and 7, I'm a pretty happy camper from DeAndre. And Jake LaRavia has just come out of nowhere and just been like what Austin Reeves used to be.
and yeah,
And he's really picked up the slack with some of the guys being out of the lineup. So that's why they're two of my favorite guys.
those are unlikely heroes if I've ever heard them. If you had said that before the season, I probably would have got on your case pretty hard.
Yeah, but I can say it with a bit of a track record now. So I,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
I
I'm
can't
not
I
saying
can't say anything now
I'm
other
not I'm
than
not saying it I'm not saying it with my chest out yet, but I'm saying the early returns are positive in Lakerland.
and the fact that they're doing that without Reeves, or without Reeves, without Luca and LeBron on one night,
Without LeBron.
like
Now, is
um,
that is that uh is that a positive for the Lakers, or is that what you call a detriment or a demon point of Portland?
oh, it's probably, yeah. Portland doesn't get away free on that, but Lakers have done it now. How many different times with different lineups?
They're
So it's
6 and
not
2.
right. So it's the fact it's like a team thing. It's not one guy. It's not this guy. It's that. You might even say coaching has an effect on something there because the lineups
I
are
may
always
have
different.
underestimated JJ Redick. I will fully admit that. I may have underestimated JJ Redick. Because to do it one year, you can say, well, he had the talent to do it. But to do it the way he's been doing it this year, with guys in and out of the lineup, and still getting it done, it's you've got to tip your cap to the man.
I
And
think you're on some.
I've always been kind of a JJ supporter, but I was really
Mhm.
skeptical of whether it was him or whether it was the talent that he had. And I think this year he's kind of shown, just give me 8 guys that can play ball, and I'm gonna be fine.
I kind of love it, right? Because he's definitely the guy that demands seriousness, and it's not faking it. It's not like
No,
no, it's take it or leave it. It's dead serious, and he's got guys that are willing to buy in, and on a regular basis, and it's showing results, and they're looking at that going, "Oh, it's like a magic trick. You said this would happen, and then it happened. I suppose we'll just line up and do that again." Like it's got a scientificness, so I shouldn't say magic. It's got a bit
well,
of
the
a
one
proof in
thing
the
I will
pudding.
say is The one thing I will say is JJ was given more of a chance than say Steve Nash, because it's not that Steve Nash can't coach; it's the fact that his players threw him under the bus when he was there. So I would like, if Steve Nash would want that, I would want him to have another job somewhere else to see if he could replicate what JJ is doing in Los Angeles. Because I
The
don't think he got a
Vancouver
fair shake this
Grizzlies,
time.
coached by Steve Nash.
There you go.
You're on to it,
But
Mo. I'll give you full
can I
credit if it happens.
can I do my postcard to Portland now, please?
Oh, big time. I wish I had the graphic ready. I had half of it ready. I got a very sad looking Portland fan. If you want to see that before you go in on them, I'll
Sure,
take
put it up
three
there.
seconds. Is it, I think it encapsulates a little bit of what's going on right now, but you tell me in a second here.
We'll see what happens with this. Are you doing a screen share or
Uh,
what are you doing here?
yeah, I'll have to pull it up at a later time because I just lost it there, so I'm not going to waste your time. So give
All
it to
right,
me. What's
so
the postcard from Portland?
and we talked about this last night. Full disclosure. So G's heard this already, but I really wanted to lay this to tape because G, in his infinite wisdom, asked me a very important question. If you're a Portland Trailblazer tonight after this loss, what is your message to the team? And I said, and Tiago Splitter and everybody else in Portland, please listen to me because this might be the most important thing you hear all year. You probably aren't going to win too many games in Portland, and that's okay. But if that's the case, and I say this with my chest out, you might go 22 and 50 or 22 and 49 or whatever the number is. But here's the thing. I want you to be a bunch of dogs. And I want you to say, you know what? We may lose this game tonight, but you are going to know that you played the Portland Trailblazers tonight.
Hmm.
And that's the mark of your season. How many nights can you say, man, we might have beat Portland, but that was a tough trip into Moda Arena.
Hmm.
And if you can do that, Portland, not only will I respect you, but the rest of the league will as well, regardless of what your record is. Because your record is almost secondary at this point.
Maybe we should put a little skin in the game here, Mo, by the sounds of it. If Portland lives up to this expectation, not expectation, this potential.
Can I show this? Can I
Maybe
add
we're
this to the
making a
tape?
road trip. Maybe we're making a road trip down to Portland at some day. Yeah, you can. Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. Hold on.
It doesn't
This
have to be
is
like this. You don't want to be like this.
you don't want to be like this guy. And this is what
It doesn't
happens to
have
a
to be,
Portland
right?
team.
Look how
No,
sad he is.
yeah, look at that looks like me after the Oilers lost the Stanley Cup final.
Looks like every Jays fan on the way home on Friday night or Saturday night there. Uh, Man, I love that the antidote is what you're saying. The antidote for that guy is what you're saying is to have that attitude, be the magicians that you know you can be because there's not many people in the world that can do what they do, right? They're professional basketball players, and if they act like it on a nightly basis, there's no reason that
And
they can't come away with those um,
I say this with all
rewards.
my
Yeah.
heart, Portland. I say this with all my heart. If you can just be a bunch of dogs that are hard to play against, your city will embrace and love you like no other.
and and that's it. They've got the opportunity to be lovable because it's infectious, right? It doesn't matter where you're actually finishing, and maybe you'll agree with this as a wrestling fan. It's not necessarily about the nuts and bolts. It's about how the person's acting, right? So like if they're acting with a sense of dogness and integrity and all these things, that's infectious. People buy in. There's positivity and stuff. But if you start losing faith in yourself, etc., oof, the crowd turns, everything starts going that way. So it might be something to it.
I'm gonna turn this into a shameless plug if you don't mind, G.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a Sunday afternoon, right?
Mm-hmm.
My streams are small on Sunday afternoons, but I know Chugs is gonna be there. I know Dennis is gonna do his best to be there. I know Roy's gonna do his best to be there. I know the crew is gonna show up. So it's on me to be that dog and give them my best because they show up for me every week. And not only that, that when you're that dog, when you're that guy, the family will grow on its own. As long as I'm consistent and I'm bringing the same effort every week, the family will do its thing and it'll grow. I know we've been
Mm-hmm.
stagnant, but it's like I always tell you, it's on me because I'm in control of
Mm-hmm.
it, right? So, but that's what
That makes
Portland
a lot of
needs.
sense.
They need the stabilizing. They need the stabilizing situation. This year cannot be about wins and losses for Portland. It just can't.
No.
They're not good enough. And how do I know that? Because they lost to a Laker team without Luca and Austin, and they're just not there. And that's not a slight on them at all. But use this season to get better, to be meaner, to be like, man, we got to go to Portland on Wednesday night. I don't want to go to Portland. I'm always dog tired after I leave Portland. That's my message to the Trailblazers. Is there anything you want to add to this postcard, G, before we move forward?
And I there's an annotation to it. Like there was an alternate version that I didn't finish, but it had to do with the puffy shirt from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Um, because sometimes you're caught in a situation where you thought you were doing one thing, you thought you were just going to do the Today Show, and now you're actually having to do this other thing that you didn't know you really signed up for, which is kind of look like a fool in front of a bunch of people. And you're like, I don't want to be a pirate.
I don't want to be a pirate.
So even though sometimes you don't want to be a trailblazer, you gotta be, right? You gotta go out there and own it and not do what Jerry did, which is, uh, break the image and
Salt,
start making,
salt.
disowned it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he saw it as a stupid thing. And then it sort of set off a chain of negativity and consequence. But Portland doesn't have to be like that. They can wear their puffy shirts, maybe define wins differently.
And define wins differently. And let's be honest, the city of Portland is great. I'm rooting for your fans to get back on their feet, you know, because when
Yeah.
I look at Portland the same way I look at Toronto. When we're bad, nobody cares. But when they're in the playoffs, the city is bumping, dude.
Mm,
Portland loves their Trailblazers when they're doing well, just like we the North it and Jurassic Park it all playoffs long when the Raptors are in it. So I
mm.
hope Portland gets back on their feet really quick.
Yeah. And if not, Seattle's not that far. They could just
Let's say
just one step closer
the
to Vancouver.
Supersonics are not that far away.
Yeah.
But we got a lot to get
Yeah,
through tonight, G.
man,
And
big time. Where do you want to start? I was thinking about all these surprises. Everything feels like a surprise a little bit in the NBA right now.
well, let's start with some of the good, and let's start in San Antonio with the 5-1 San Antonio Spurs. Did
Man,
anybody
oh,
see that coming?
maybe Wemby.
Maybe Wemby's just like, I'm him. I'm him.
That
We
was
talk about aura. There's an aura quickly developing around Wemby.
mhm. That first game, man. That was enough to be scared and sending a rocket through the night. That was just, whoa. I've never seen anything like that. So 5-1 Spurs. I haven't seen any other games except that first one, so I can't comment on anything past
They've
that.
been
But I do, if that's
they've
any
been playing
indication,
well.
Man,
And if I'm in the playoffs, I don't want to draw the Spurs in the first round.
now when they're
Like,
young, healthy, deep, because I'm imagining there's no standout guys. It's a lot of guys.
it's a lot of guys, yeah. And the Thunder are 7-0 as they take the court tonight on NBC, which is absolutely absurd.
And they're playing against, oh, well, you know why they do this for the Clippers, right?
What's that?
So that the kids don't have to watch that because that's borderline
And
offensive content. You know what I'm saying? We
and
have
they're
rules
well,
here in North America where you can't just put on offensive things before 8
past a
p.m.
certain time. Yeah.
Mad TV had to wait till 11. Clippers have to wait till
Mad
8.
TV was a great show, by the way, but this ain't the
No
Mad
doubt,
TV
Mad TV.
podcast.
Yeah.
But everybody knows that you are now watching Mad TV.
Oh, there are some absolute classics, man. Was that where Coach Hines started?
I think so.
Oh,
But yeah, it's 12-2 Clippers right now, so they're playing some decent basketball to start the evening. But
okay.
the
Well, we don't
Clippers
have to
have
talk
bigger
about the
problems,
Clippers,
don't
but
they, G?
they might not legally allowed to speak about that at the moment.
Allegedly, the Clippers might have some bigger issues. We'll say, but we'll just leave it at that because we've talked about that enough.
Yeah.
Unless you've got something you want to tap dance around.
Uh, no, I'm working on something that is an ode to Pablo, just like my own little tip of the cap.
All
Uh,
right.
I think he's a bit of a Batman right now, and
By the way, check out Pablo Torre
uh,
finds out. I cannot
if you
recommend
haven't
that
found
enough.
out, yeah, it's good shit.
That's how
Uh,
that goes. So we're gonna leave the Clippers alone, but I do want to
surprise,
talk about the
Chicago.
huh?
Go on, go on, go on, go on. What were you saying?
I do want to talk about the Dallas Mavericks.
Mm,
We've seen some good, we've seen some not so good, and we've seen some out and out ugly things. Where
yeah,
do you want to start with this Dallas Mavericks team?
you got it. You take us in. What are you seeing from the pilot's view above?
Well, the pilot's views, I'm gonna use the sandwich method. I'm gonna say something good, and or no, I'm gonna say something bad, and I'm gonna say something good, and then I'm gonna say something bad. The bad news is Anthony Davis is hurt again. The good news is, as far as I can tell, Cooper's coming as advertised. The other bad news for the Dallas Mavericks is they don't have a point guard. They don't have a point guard. And it really shows when they're on the basketball court, G. I mean, D'Angelo
Yeah,
Russell had 31 the other night and they still lost. They don't have a
yeah.
playmaking point guard. Oh no, let me rephrase for the basketball simpletons. They don't have a facilitator in Dallas.
Yeah.
And
I understand the
and
predicament they are in. They wanted to get a scorer and a facilitator, and they're like, on good nights, D'Angelo could be both those things, and that's just such wishful thinking. He's never both those things. He's one of them at best.
and he picks on any given night.
Yeah.
He picks on any given. Some nights he's the facilitator, and sometimes he's the shot maker. But he's never
And
both.
yeah, and sometimes it's the right decision, and sometimes it's not for him, for the team. So
And
yeah, he might not have been it. Yeah.
the other team I want to touch base on real quick is the Houston Rockets, because they seem to be doing this whole Jekyll and Hyde thing in Houston, and I can't quite figure out whether they're going to be really good or really bad, or if they're going to just be mid all year. They could just be mid all year, and that would be disappointing to have a
The,
team with
the
such talent just be mid all year.
would you say the loss of Freddie is outside their control, and they sort of have to just figure that out now?
Yes, But here's the difference. In Dallas, they don't have a facilitator. In Houston, they might have too many facilitators because everybody wants to give up the ball because nobody wants to look selfish.
But they don't have a natural point guard there either, do they?
No, they do not. But the natural point guard is kind of going the way of the dodo bird in the NBA at
I
this
think
point
that's
in
why
time.
Quickly got paid maybe what he did because he's a natural facilitator. Um, or by trade, like he was brought up with that as supposed to be his skill set, like he was um, modeled after what that role is. If I'm not mistaken, maybe I am, but I know he's not
Yeah,
playing like
I can
always.
see
But
that because Quigley is a natural facilitator. And the Raptors, as much as it looks like they're treading water in the East, that might be good enough to get into the playoffs.
the way the East is constructed, you tell me, but is it outlandish to say anybody could be top one at this point?
Anybody with the exception of Washington.
Washington, Charlotte, and
That's it. That's literally the list. Anybody but Washington and Charlotte. And I had high hopes if you remember
Boston.
for Charlotte. I I still think Boston's gonna find a way.
Boston and Indiana are probably just default this year, right? They're sort of just they're not crap, but
Well,
they're not doing
yeah,
anything.
they're not
They would
where they
love a
need to
lottery
be
pick.
for sure.
Okay, so let's count those
Indiana.
four teams out.
Okay, so that leaves 11 teams for 8 spots. Yeah, the Raptors could get one.
I'm saying any of those 11 teams could be number one the way the season's going, don't you think?
Yeah, it's weird, and it's
Like
only the
Chicago's
East.
in
The West is
first,
still as tough as ever.
Philadelphia's in first.
Chicago just suffered their first loss the other night.
I think to I don't know who, but I know they're playing Philly coming up, so that could be interesting. What's going on in Chicago? What do you know about Chicago and Philadelphia?
Oh, I don't know. I think Chicago just woke up and went, we're tired of being the laughing stock. We got this guy named Josh Giddey, and we've got some players around him. Let's go make a statement. And I don't know if that's gonna last all year, but the Bulls are impressing me right now.
I don't want to get ahead of myself or anybody, but the Bulls, if we're going to ride this train, is this a Bulls comeback? Is this a the Bulls resurgence that we've been waiting for?
I think it could be.
And it would make sense
And
that it's the most unlikely package. Like you would never guess
and
it.
it's weird because it's a hodgepodge of guys, dude.
It's the hodgiest podgiest of guys.
It's like what Utah tried to do for a few years there and it didn't work.
Man, yeah, I
But
think
when you
some teams, yeah, have done this, but it's never worked. This is just working for some reason.
and you know what? I think it's because everybody's fitting into a role in Chicago at this point in time. I hope this
Yeah.
lasts. Listen to me. I hope this lasts. I don't know if it's going to, but I hope it lasts.
If it lasts, I'll tell you right now, I'm getting a Giddy jersey. I don't give an F. We can one day wear a Bulls jersey again, Mo. Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
The red clashes with my purple and gold get up, so I can't do that. But
Let's see,
knock
yeah,
yourself out, G.
they were my first. They were my first. That's may have grown up in Toronto, but I think Bulls will
And
always have yeah.
by the way, just a message to NBA fans as I finish this non-sponsored Wild Cherry Pepsi. We don't need to gatekeep basketball fans. They can be fans however they want. And the game should unite us, not bring us apart. That's my message to NBA fans.
That's
Salute me,
beautiful.
familia.
Mm.
Because the league is struggling right now, whether people want to believe it or not. And you and I have even, full disclosure, turned off games already this year
As is our
because
privilege. Yeah.
the product is not what it used to be. And I want to talk about more about what we talked about last night when you said it doesn't pass the eye test when AI tells us the game has much better flow than it does in the past. Because you and I both disagree with that statement.
But I'm basing mine off of just like nothing. I'm like vague memories, right? So I don't have anything really meat to draw from. It's
I
just
do.
dreaming, right? So I would have to ask people from different generations that remember it clearly so that we can compare and contrast. And I know that some people will say from the 90s that this is much more flow than it was in the 90s. Like the 90s was so uh, bang bang all the time, they had to call fouls because it was so rough or something, right? So it sometimes just depends maybe on what we're defining as flow, because I know commercial breaks are longer now, right? So sometimes we might be thinking it's
Okay,
longer and stuff, but it's like
I will
there's
read.
TV timeouts now, there's referee timeouts now, there's challenges now, there's extra blah 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 now.
Hmm.
So
And I will
I can see why
rephrase.
it's hard to, yeah.
I prefer the flow of the '90s to now, if that makes any sense. And that just might be my old school bias.
Could be
Leave
some
that in the
nostalgia.
comments.
Yeah, it's curious to see what people's opinions are if they've been longtime basketball viewers. How do you like the flow right now? What do you think of the average game on a Tuesday night? Are you interested? Are you engaged? Are you fired up about things? Like I was curious to see what Giannis brought to the table tonight, man, just in terms of Toronto. And Scotty played his heart out. I don't know if you saw it, but
Not
like
really.
he was playing for his life, dude. Toronto has turned a corner because they were 1-4. I'm not going to derail this entirely for Toronto, but the quality of play matched what we're more talking about, I think, when we're talking quality basketball, right? And sometimes we feel like guys have mailed it in a little bit and it shows across the board and the play
Uh-oh.
reflects it and the game sort of lends itself to that sometimes. By over refereeing, you get a lot of guys faking fouls. You get a lot of fuck this, that, the
I
other.
just got a report that Jimmy's not going to play the second half for the Warriors. So
That who?
I don't know how accurate that is, but Jimmy's had an off night and now he's not playing the second half for the Warriors tonight.
Well, yeah, maybe there's the bigger conversation is guys can take off nights whenever they want, anytime they want.
Oh, geez, pushing that button tonight.
It's
But it is a conversation. But just for the record, it's 86-65, so maybe that's why Jimmy's sitting out. Is there
oh wow,
25
yeah.
points ahead?
I mean, Toronto dominated that game today. That was amazing. Anyways,
But you had an interesting take on load management.
well, if you
I
tilt the
had an
camera,
interesting take on
yeah,
load management. Do we want to divulge that or do we want to move on here?
we could probably move on.
Yeah, I think we've tackled that topic a time or two on the podcast here if you really want to find it.
Yeah.
Um we do have to talk about my so far what is well, I have two predictions actually, and one's right and one's not. And the older one is proving to be more accurate than my preseason pick. Because I like you, I looked at the East and I thought anybody could come out of this Eastern Conference. So I thought Orlando, a home like I wasn't thinking anything crazy. I just thought maybe a home court first round series might be in the cards for them because they had Bankero and Wagner and they traded for
Suggs.
Desmond Bain. On paper, that looked like a lock, and they're making me look bad because they were 1-4 last I heard. But also, if you remember
Yeah.
last
And they
year,
lost. They got smoked by the Hawks tonight without Trey Young.
Uh, well, that doesn't make me feel any better about that preseason prediction. But
And it was,
also
oh man,
remember,
yeah.
last year I said Bankero might not be that dude. I said he doesn't strike me as the guy who is gonna be. So my later prediction seems to be coming to better fruition than my preseason prediction, and maybe my preseason prediction was just based on looking at the East and going, "Well, Orlando's on paper made improvements, so they should be better, right?" But they're not. They're not better.
It's the one mystery I have heard no feedback or reason on. I haven't been going deep on the research, but I haven't heard anything out of anybody about why that situation is the way it is. So yeah, I got your take to go on, and I think you're right on the Bankero thing. We'll see. History will decide, but I've got I got the thing to save Orlando a trade that's going to save. You know, we can get to it later, but I think it's going to be one of my few trade suggestions that you're actually going to like. We'll see, folks. We'll see. It's a risky, but I think big reward for the ones going into it with the Magic. So
And I've got to, I know this is dangerous territory because me and G tend to go in circles on this unless we agree on stuff. But I got to bring this up, G. We got to talk about the Memphis Grizzlies and John Morant.
dude, that's
Uh,
perfect
uh,
because that's the trade. The might as well just put this all together. John Morant to the Magic for Suggs and a bunch of dudes and draft picks. You keep Wagner, Bankero, and now you have a dude. Ja's that dude, and he needs some
Jaws
money.
that, and he needs a
And
fresh
Bane's
start.
already there too, so he's got a homie. It's not like he's going in completely cold, but no taxes. It's Orlando.
I
It's the
was gonna
East.
say because I'm on record as saying that Jaws become that guy you don't want as a teammate.
He's sour grapes right now. He's bad. He's damaged merchandise. Like you could get him for a Suggs. You could get an all NBA, I think, all NBA quality player if he buys in. And they become contenders. And that's what he, I think, truly wants. It's just that he's being a bit of a something about it right now. So, without any further ado, you take it away. That was just my little trade thing to put in, but yeah.
Well, that's an interesting thing because I wouldn't take John Morant for anything on the planet right now,
But your Orlando Magic are fully healthy, and you're looking at a season that is the worst of your last 10 years.
and it's getting worse by the
And
day.
you just got smoked by the Hawks without Trey Young by 20 tonight on NBC.
So you're figuring Jaw can't make it any worse if we're already at the bottom.
And his upside could change the landscape of the NBA and could change the Magic's future. And like you said, could just be the worst decision, boom, explosion. But that explosion's already happening. So maybe this is one of those Kyrie trade moments.
And that's the thing. Like, I'm tired of saying I'm rooting for Jaw because Jaw always messes up. I'm about to jump off the I support Jaw bus so hard right now. Because,
Yeah.
dude, I've backed you through one suspension. I backed you through the second suspension. I've backed you through your injuries. And yet you still continuously put yourself in the headlines. And Jaw, I'm out, dude. I can't do it anymore.
That's what he's saying. He's
Every
like, that's what he's saying. He's like, I can't do it anymore with this Memphis stuff. I can't do it.
But you never did it in the first place. That's my problem with you, Jaw. You never did it in the first place.
Yeah. Sometimes we just need fresh starts, man. Sometimes it's not like he's innocent, but he does just need a fresh start to be at his best. And maybe that's for best for all parties
It looks
considered.
like
Like
Kyrie.
Suggs is a dog. Suggs will he'll carry the grandma and the cat and the child out of the fire. Suggs is that dude. So
Yes, sir. And can you believe
yeah,
we've already been at this for 35 minutes, G?
this is how we
And
do, Mo. This is
as
how we
is
do.
as is expected, it's 33-20 to for the Clippers at the moment. Biggest surprise in the NBA for G this season so far.
Biggest surprise, and I'm going to take then into the disappointments and all the goods. I'm going to say it's the. This is not a very fun answer, but it's the whole media landscape of the. Like it's just such a surprise. The NBC, the 8 p.m. games, the it's just surprising. And I knew it was coming. It's just a surprise to my system, I guess, still. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just getting used to it. It's not bad or good, just getting used to it. It's just a big, yeah, shock, maybe a better word for it. And in terms of team surprises, I would say the Mavericks are a little bit, that is not what I expected. And
Well,
obviously,
the
Chicago,
people,
Philadelphia, let's maybe put Philadelphia at the top of that list. That is not what I
can I
expected.
can I say the reason Dallas is surprising it isn't really surprising to me though is everybody keeps saying wait till we're healthy. Dallas, you are never healthy. You are never healthy.
You got to
We
step,
can't
yeah.
continue to wait for you to be healthy.
There's got
And
to be something in that water that just, I don't know.
and if you will indulge me for a second here, I'm gonna do something I haven't done for a year and a half, or a year since Luca got traded, because I've pretty much left him alone. But I think the sample size is big enough now where I'm gonna ask this question: is Nico Harris's job in jeopardy yet?
I heard the owner speak recently, and here's his quote, paraphrasing, and it answers your question. Short answer is no.
And that's
He
coming
goes,
from ownership.
yeah. So this is the owner, of the Mavericks. Gets asked the question about why, right? Still just why, and he goes, listen, we won a championship. We got to the championship game. We were not good enough, and we there was nothing we could do to get better. So we had to make a change.
For better or for worse. I
He, the
I don't
proactive
want to pile.
person under that, like let's say if it was for Cooper and there was an underscored deal, I understand the all right, we're pivoting now. The I still don't maybe know if I can sit with the pivot to just AT. That still breaks the brain, I think. But the
Yeah,
Cooper, let's just
and
assume
you
that
can
was part of
tell.
the deal.
I'm not coming at this that as I'm making fun of him. I'm legitimately asking because the Mavericks missed the playoffs last year and because they're getting off to the slow start this year. Is it time to start thinking about hey maybe Nico's not the guy to be doing this or is do we give him this year is just like we're giving you a clean slate in 2027 but things need to improve like where do we sit here?
Well, you would like to be measured according to what your decisions and actions were, right? So if it wasn't your decision and it wasn't really your action, you were told to do it from this owner guy who actually owns the thing. And okay, you're transferring paper, but should you be measured by something that wasn't really your decision? I would rather measure Nico according to the other things that he's done because that would be a more what I would want to be measured by is like measure
More
me by some
accurate
things that I've got my opinion
more
on. Like, yeah, that
more
I really
accurate
want.
assessment.
Yeah, yeah, I think that would be a more fair way to say to judge where how it's going for them because the ownership knows that they made the decision on the Luca thing. So
And
all
maybe
this
that's why they're
change,
backing him now.
they have to. Like they can't put it on them. They're choosing the buck stops here thing of like owners decided, so we told them what to do. Like he executed the deal, but we told him to go make a deal, right? Better or
Yeah, I
worse.
was
Yeah.
I was just curious because I've left it
Scapegoat could be
alone for
one
a
thing,
year.
but I
I
don't
left
think
it
they're
alone for a
scapegoating.
year, and
Yeah.
I'm just wondering because like in
Yeah.
other situations that would be a, that would be cause for concern. So I'm trying to be fair because you know what,
Yeah.
Nico seems like a nice guy too.
I think the hitch to it all is if you were the person that initiated the idea, like, listen, we got to go get Shaq. I know he's 35, but I think Shaq's still really good, and it fell apart. That guy should probably lose his job, right? Because it was his idea, his sell, all
But
of
you
that.
can't do that to the owner, can you?
Nah. Well, you can
See
just
this,
you can boo his messenger, and that's kind of what people have chosen to scapegoat Nico, even though the owners aren't really choosing to do that. They're like, hey, it was us. People are like, burn Nico. Yeah,
yeah.
they're not
But
upset.
I just thought at this point we'd have a clearer picture. But the reason I asked
Yeah.
that too is because the Mavs haven't been healthy. So does Nico get a
Yeah.
pass on the injury front?
Yeah, I think for him to lose the job, it would have to be like some of his decisions not working out, like draft picks or um, personnel, like Gafford or Lively being not the guys, that promised to be or something. I don't know which deals he had the most hand in, but I'm sure they do. And I'm sure they've got measuring sticks on all of them, but we wouldn't really know those.
Can we talk about something a little more positive now that I got the Nico Harrison question out of the way? And that is
Yeah,
Cooper Flag. He struggled in game one, but man, has he come forward as advertised for the Dallas Mavericks.
he's had some rim rocking plays. He's had some beautiful 3 pointers, full package. 18, 19 years old or something, right? So it's
I'm
unbelievable.
I'm still not getting on the boat yet. I got to see more of this, but I'm impressed to this point
Yeah.
with what Cooper's done.
And yeah, his work ethic, his foundation, personality, his humility, like not being impressed with himself. Like I really like that. Kind of like Laravia. It's like, oh, you just ran the break like a boss, caught that thing, and like you should be flexing, but he's just getting back on defense. And I love
And the
that.
thing I love, I was gonna say, the thing I love about Laravia is he put it in, and he's just like, okay, let's go back to work.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
know,
like, and then he caught another one like 3 plays later because that's the mentality, and it's,
and he
hey
dove
man,
on on the floor for the loose ball. Speaking of Laravia, and you know, that's just the way he plays the game.
he's embracing his role, right? And that's maybe some of the positive surprises, like Cooper and other people that are able to embrace their roles and be who they are to the
I
max.
think that I think that's helpful.
Hmm.
And I think the Lakers need that to be successful. Like
Yeah,
Luca's gonna get his, but it's gonna come down to who's coming with him, right? You need one or two guys to go with you on it. Listen, I will put it to you in simple NBA terms, fans. Any team can win if three guys are cooking on the same night, including the Washington Wizards. If you got three guys that are cooking, the chances of you winning an NBA game are very good.
everybody in the
It,
NBA is literally a magician.
That's what I'm saying. So don't discredit the Wizards or the Hornets
See,
or
Wizards,
anybody
right,
like
right
that.
in the name. It's right in the name.
But what I'm saying is give these guys more credit than we do, right? Like we can't do what they do.
No, what they do is absurd on so many levels. We would not even be able to begin to comprehend. But
But
it's
here's my
fun to
point.
watch. Yeah.
The Lakers have Luca and Austin on most nights, right? That are cooking usually.
Hmm.
One or two might have an off night here or there, but if you can get three guys cooking, which means Luca, Austin, and one other, we're gonna be okay most nights.
I feel like
And
that's always. Oh, go ahead.
I'll give you an example of from last night, as a matter of fact. Because if you remember, we were on the phone and like, I don't think we're gonna win this game, G, because it's it's load management night, and I was like, I don't think we're gonna win this one. But we had DeAndre Aiden chip in with 17. Hachimura had 15. Laravia did his thing, and then you had even Marcus Smart playing well by Marcus Smart standards. I'm gonna throw that in there by Marcus Smart standards.
Hey, we all
And
have our own standards.
you had guys chipping in, and even Dalton hit a shot. Dalton Connect,
Saw that.
you know,
Ooh, yeah, Connect Four.
and that's what I'm saying. Like if you've got people cooking, you don't have to be the most talented squad to win a game, but you need
Look at the
three. You
Chicago
need
Bulls.
three. Yeah, Josh Giddey, and two
Vooch.
others,
And you know what the Chicago Bulls thing though is? It's the model of they got four guys off the bench coming in with 15. And that's what the
and
Lakers
that's
are
it.
starting to do. And I think it's the big difference in modern NBA is if you can have that kind of production coming from who? You're cooking
I
with
mean,
fish grease.
what did I start this with? Hachimura had 14.
Hmm.
Laravia did his business. Aiden had 17. Nick Smith Jr. had 20 points.
Those are the types of
You
names
know,
we're talking about. If you're filling those in consistently as a bench that's buying in, we can see what's
and it's
possible just from Chicago. Like they got a bench that bought in. Crazy.
Chicago, San Antonio,
Yeah. What's the other one
LA
there?
to a certain extent.
The one team we haven't talked about yet is Philadelphia.
Well, let's get to the 76ers
I think it's time.
because they're playing. How about, was it Quentin Grimes or is that who they got? I can't remember.
VJ.
Yeah,
VJ
they're playing
Edgecombe
really well.
is get to know
And
the name. Get to know the name.
who do you attribute this success to for Philadelphia? By the way,
VJ.
yeah, that's the guy.
He's JJ McCarthy, like to me. I think the guys recognize they just got a guy. And they already had a guy in Maxi that could do 50 a night if you asked him to.
Who dropped 39 tonight in a loss to Chicago.
Bulls, baby. Maybe I'm getting on a bit of a Bulls train here. Uh,
Joel
Philly, from
Embiid
what
had
I've
20
seen,
and 6 as well.
yeah, I'm sure that brother can still shoot. And if his body able to respond well to a season of basketball, who knows what could happen? But I don't think any expectations need to be on him for anything because it's kind of closed book for right now, eh?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening in the NBA. Like you said, the expectations need to be subdued very much in the NBA right now because we're still trying to
Well,
figure things out.
I'm just saying that Embiid's cooked just because he is.
Yeah,
But VJ,
well,
man,
that's
guy that brought so much life into a franchise that people had as last. They were projected last in the conference, bro, at the start of the season. So how do
and
you account for that?
with all due respect to how they're playing right now, that was deservedly so.
And they don't even have their two guys that are being paid the most money.
I know, isn't that weird?
I
Is that
mean,
not
yeah,
the
that we
weirdest
gotta
thing?
we gotta talk about that. What's going on?
It's because without money, there's no ego. And when there's no ego, you're just playing basketball. And when you're just playing basketball, the results will take care of themselves.
Hmm.
You see the translation there? See, I'll use the Raptors as an example. I judge Quigley and I judge RJ, and I judge Scotty, and I'll even throw Jakob in there because I don't think they're worth their deals. However, with the new salary cap and the money going up, maybe they are worth their deals in today's economy, and I'm being too hard. But what I'm saying is, if you have a bunch of guys, and I'll even put Tyrese Maxey in there, who aren't making a lot of money yet, and are just out there playing ball and hooping, and you don't have to worry about, oh, I'm Paul George or I'm Joel Embiid, and I've been here longest, and my career might be over, but I'm still here, and you don't have to deal with all the outside noise. It makes a difference, man, when you can just go out and play basketball. You know what made the Dallas Mavericks so fun last year? When Kyrie went out, they
Mm.
just wanted to play ball after that. They weren't the most talented team, but they got their share of wins and they fought every night. And that's what I'm at. That brings me back to Portland. That's what I'm asking you to do. Just be last year's Dallas Mavericks. Just fight every night.
And is that Philadelphia now? Is that what we're seeing in Philadelphia as a team?
Yes, because even though Joel's making all the money, by the way, he did play tonight. He had 20 points and 6 boards. But even though Joel is making all the money, he's not the sideshow anymore because he's not as athletic as he used to be. So he's not taking up as much oxygen as he normally would. And because of that, he's become now a guy that can just play basketball. Because nobody's going, hey, Joel, what do you think about the game tomorrow? Or hey, Joel, what do you think about the 76ers being in a playoff spot? Joel's can just play basketball.
He's been demoted to one of the guys again, and it couldn't have been a better thing for him or the team. Hey,
It's probably the best thing that's happened to Joel Embiid is just being demoted to being one of the guys.
man, so
And to
true.
and to be on, and to be honest, that's one thing I get criticized for is because I love being one of the guys.
Mm.
You know, as small as my streams can be sometimes, I get to be one of the guys, and I love that. And honestly, like I want growth. I want to experience growth. But dude, I'm having fun with everything that I'm doing, and to answer your earlier question, that's what looks like what's happening in Philly. They're having fun again playing basketball.
Mm. Man, and Nick Nurse might be a hell of a coach.
I've said that for a long time. Everybody disagreed with me. Everybody was like,
He,
"Well, we'll see what he can do in Philly."
he
I
you can
I've
define
said for
coach by a lot of different things, but in terms of basketball coach, you were bang on. Yeah,
yeah, and that's the thing. Like I knew what we lost when Nick Nurse left. But at the same
yeah.
time, I'm not gonna be a Dallas Maverick about it and post it all over social media. I
But you
I
also
knew
don't
him
hire an
taking his
F1 driver when you drive a Toyota.
yeah, because you know what? As a fan, I have to be able to move on and be able to support the new coach or the new
Yeah, like
GM.
yeah, man, we got a new car coming in, and it's no longer an F1. Like we lost
No,
that. It's gone. We're starting
and
over.
it's
We're at the
and
junkyard.
it's not coming
You know,
back.
that's it. We're starting literally from Scotty Barnes. And so whatever Scotty Barnes is, that's what we got.
Yeah, and that's what people have to understand. Do we miss the F1? Absolutely, we do.
It was a great
But
it was a great trip.
But you know what the problem is
Never
too
been
with a
high.
lot of sports fans in general. I'll say this. You know what the problem is? They try to hang on to that F1 like there's no tomorrow.
Feel entitled to it maybe.
And we just can't have that, you
Well, that's
know?
what I've been telling Lakers fans for I don't know how long, and they just won't listen. Maybe you could put in a word.
Most of us don't listen. And that's the problem with being Here, can I defend myself at least here on that one?
Of course. I'm just playing around, of course. Yeah.
No, no, I know you're just playing, but I will defend my. I can't defend Laker Nation, but I can speak for myself. And G will probably back me up on this one. I'm not sure. I try to be as impartial and as unbiased as a Laker fan as I can possibly be, because
This is true.
I know the rhetoric that's out there, and I don't want to be associated with. I want like when you tune into this podcast, you're like, yes, he bleeds purple and gold. But if G asks him an honest question about the Lakers, he's going to give me his honest opinion. And as long as I can maintain that credibility, I can sleep like a baby. Because I know the rhetoric with Lakers fans are like Cowboy fans. We're delusional at times. And we think we're entitled to championship runs every year. That's not the case. That is not the case. I'm not going to be the guy that's like, oh, we're going to win the NBA championship every year and be wrong for 20 years. If we don't have the tools, I'm going to tell you, we might be missing one or two pieces. We might be competitive, but we are missing a piece or two,
You'll be like the
right?
Spike
Not
Lee.
many,
We're just one or two pieces away there. We're just
but
so
that's
close.
honesty you won't that's honesty you won't get from most Lakers fans.
That's true. That's true. And I don't um yeah, it's not negative to be delusional either. Like that's part of being a fan is embracing the whatever you want to be in that.
And look, I'll be delusional off the podcast, okay? But on the podcast, my credibility is very important to me. Because if I can't deliver authenticity on this podcast, you shouldn't be watching. Honestly,
There you go.
I I want to be the podcast that yes he openly admits he's a diehard Laker fan. But if we want an honest assessment, he'll also give us that. And it just so happens that right now I can puff my chest out a little bit because we're 6-2. But if we were 2-6, I'd be like, gee, the wheels are coming off this thing pretty fast, man. You know,
Man,
and
it like yeah, that's what Toronto was going through. Being 1-4, people were jumping hard. Like we were letting people know this is not satisfactory. Okay,
yeah. And on that note, since we're having fun, it's about that hour mark, which is what we've been kind of accustomed to lately. So let's do to the week this thing
yeah, got you.
and call it a day.
All right, here we go. Brandon Ingram
Brandon Ingram. That's a solid pick right there.
moved into
And
a whole new country, doing his thing,
I'm gonna be
coming back like a
I'm gonna be a homer too. I'm gonna be a homer too. But it's not going to the guy you think it's going to. Well, maybe it is. I don't know what you think. But my dude of the week, huh?
Laravia.
Laravia. Yeah, there
Oh,
it
yeah,
is. You knew it. You knew it.
I had to take a
But
guess. Yeah,
I'll tell you this. The reason why is because, and I don't say this as a Laker fan, I say this as a basketball fan. If you love basketball, you watch Jake Laravia. The more you watch Jake Laravia play, and this is where my credibility comes in, the more you watch him play, the more you fall in love with his game.
he's got a nice feel for it. Right place, right time, guy. Hustle guy, and he's
Yeah,
got height and shooting. It's oof, 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 oof. These are all good, high quality
like
things, man.
it had to be Jake Laravia because who else would it be? And it's just
Yeah,
it's one of those things that when the Lakers are cooking, the Lakers are cooking, and when the Lakers are bad, they're gonna be real bad. We've seen nights where the Lakers defense doesn't show up and they lose by 35. So, you know, it is what it is.
Mama said there's going to be days like this. You know,
Yeah, and I'll take six
sometimes
and two because I'll take 6-2 because next week we could easily be 6-5. You just never know. And I will say this for those who are not familiar with my winning streak speech. The length of the winning streak doesn't matter. The competition doesn't matter. The fact that you're winning games matters. And that goes for Laker fans, Raptor fans, Magic fans, and every fan in between.
Except Trailblazers fans, which we already said,
Except Trailblazers fans.
winning is a different definition for you guys, so it's not
Yeah.
the same.
And Wizards fans.
But
We
everybody
gotta be
else,
honest. Everybody else. And that's not new. I've said that for years on
respectfully,
this podcast. Huh?
respectfully,
Respectfully, yes. But I've said that for years on this podcast because everybody loves to criticize a winning streak. Like, oh look, you beat Washington, Portland, and Charlotte. Doesn't matter because I didn't make the schedule.
and they've got 15 guys that can do things that you would only have to say is like magic. Like they can do things. It's just like, oh. So they should be able to beat any team any night. Just yeah,
Anyway, G,
it's a lot.
final thoughts for the evening, brother.
Man, looking forward to some NBA Cup action. You know me, locking
Oh,
in
good.
on every ounce of uh, Emirates Cup I can get. So catch
The Emirates Cup.
catch me on
Oh
the other
man.
side of that colored court, and we'll be all right. Other than that, I'm just looking forward to another good week of sports and chilling. So
I'm
yeah, man.
I'm just gonna smile at you for that NBA Cup reference. But okay. Anyway,
I'll do the reporter thing. Now, what does it mean for you to be playing in the NBA Cup? That's just like I
it's
don't
just a
know.
game. It's a regular season game.
Anyways,
Anyways, for my man G, I'm the pilot Mo Money, and you know how this goes by now. May your ego come from a place that keeps you humble. I'm Mo Money. Mamba out.